What we want to do is we want to go right straight into seeing if we can try to devise a solution to some of the problems that affect not only just the Muslims, but it's really starting to affect our children. You heard someone speak earlier, I think the sister was here speaking in terms of the deaths on how we're losing our children. And basically, you know, we're going to refer the question, we're going to get to Brother Antar, but I want to go to a new addition to our panel, the Sister Zaima, and I just want to go straight to the point. Sister Zaima, you know, you ran for office. You know what the political arena is like. You know, we are aware of, may Allah bless the brothers from the Muslim League of Voters. They were the first that I can remember that tried to initiate the Muslims to come out to vote. Yeah. I mean, like, the Muslims are affected by all the social ills, just like any other community is affected by the social ills that's going on in society. We losing children. I know I lost a son. Yeah. So I know that we get affected with the same situation, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's child abuse. So we can't take the demeanor that these problems don't affect us. Because if we don't solve these problems, our children are going to inherit these same problems. Right. So what I would like to see, by the grace of Allah Ta'ala, is that from the knowledge that Sister Zaima is about to share, that we're good at coming together like this and discussing and talking, but we're not that great of coming up with an agenda or a blueprint to navigate us out of this situation. You know, sometimes the talk just remains where it is. I've always told Brother Imam Akbar that this masjid, this building, this whole block, it was the womb of development for a lot of people. Yes. This masjid has developed a lot of people who are still here, and some have went on to other different avenues of life. But this is the womb of development. So we should try to now begin to develop the political arena. Because unfortunately, we know that the solution is with Allah Ta'ala. But if we make an effort, Allah will give us the results. Sister Zaima, in your humble opinion and your experience in the political arena, in terms of the Muslims, not saying that the rest of the people in the world don't matter, but just because we're Muslims and we're here, what advice would you give us to try to help us navigate us in a way where we could take the political system and have it become a benefit for us?
Alhamdulillah. I'm going to first say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I bear witness that Allah is God, one God, the Creator, and I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last messenger of God. Well, first and secondly, I want to thank you for even asking me to come up and sit on the panel. Yeah. Let me just say a little bit about myself first, because sure. I heard someone say that, you know, who is this sister, even Zaima? I mean, you know, I've been around for ages, but I thought everybody knew who Zaima was, but obviously not, right? Right. I've been around, I've been Muslim as long as I can remember. My mother became Muslim in the Nation of Islam when I was 2 years old. So that's how long I can remember back, from 2 years old. I took my Shahada when I was 16, 17 years old. Now, when I first came in the community at 16 years old, I came up in Jersey City at temple number, 21, temple number 21. And I taught school in the Islamic University of Islam. As time went on, I taught school and I became the principal of the Islamic school in Patterson, along with the late Imam Pasha and Sister Zakia. And I've been doing a lot of things in between them. In the social arena, we started a group called Jihad Health Network back in the early 90s. When at that time my husband was sick, very, very sick. from an ailing disease that not many people knew about. And a group of sisters and some brothers got together in the Muslim community, and we formed this health network, Jihad Health Network, and our responsibility was to actually educate the Muslim community on this particular ailment. So now, just to fast forward, right now I'm director of a halfway house for state inmates for women in the city of Irvington. Prior to this, which was just 3 months ago, I was the director of a halfway house for state inmates for men for 26 years in the city of East Orange, and that's probably where a lot of you know me from. I'm also one of the founders and the executive director of Seneca House, which is a homeless shelter for women. And we started off being a homeless shelter for Muslim women in particular, but because we began to write for grants, government monies, we of course had to reach out to women as a whole, and we couldn't, just focus on the Muslim women. I was just asked just a few days ago to become a member of the Muslim League of Voters, which we gave a breakfast yesterday in honor for some of the young political leaders on the rise, and Sister Linda Lloyd, who was here earlier, she was one of them. Now, I ran for office in the city of East Orange. I'm also a district leader in the city of East Orange as well. I've been an elected official as a district leader for going on 8 years now. Okay, so I've been involved. However, I've not been that involved to the point where I really believed that I would be able to make a difference when it came to legislative concerns and appropriation and dealing with monies and funding. I did sit on team called the Weed and Seed, East Orange Weed and Seed. Now, those of you familiar with Weed and Seed programs throughout the United States of America, this is a program that actually weed out criminal activities and seed in social services for the community, and it's funded by the government, by the United States Department of Justice. I was asked and elected to be the vice chair of that particular program in the city of East Orange, where we were responsible for bringing down monies from the government and appropriating these monies to the community in the city of East Orange. And with that, we were able to fund a lot of programs, social programs, such as our CNA program. We funded Certified Nursing Assistant program, where they were actually getting certified and prepare them to get their state certification. Also, the asbestos training program, and several others. So I'm sharing this with you because I've been involved, and I've been involved very long time. And there's a lot of things that other things that I've done that we'll be here a long time with that. So regarding Muslims and politics, let's say that, Muslim and politics. When I ran for office the very first time as a district leader, I didn't have any opposition when I ran for office. So there wasn't a lot for me to do out there to put up signs and billboards and all this kind of stuff, because I didn't have any opposition. I was voted, if I voted for myself, I was elected, right? That was enough. And that's what I did, I voted for myself. However, I saw that as a district leader, I didn't have the opportunity to actually sit with the government officials on the city level, local level, and be responsible for voting laws, proposing laws and voting for laws in the city of East Orange. So, and amongst other things. And I saw that our city citizens were really hurting. And they were hurting because we didn't have a lot of politicians who sincerely had the citizens' best interest in mind. I was sitting at the table with these people, and it was about numbers, it was about money, it was about power, it was about everything else other than how can we better the quality of living for the people of the city of East Orange. I wanted to be able to see some type of more honesty and integrity in City Hall. And I was asked by several people to run for council, and I finally did. Now, when I began the campaign, initially it was fine. Most of the people I ran into, everyone said, yes, that's the thing for you to do. However, when it got closer to election day, and we really had to, take our shoes off and really, start doing a lot of work, and all wee hours of the night, it was a lot of work, actually, a lot of money that took place in this too. I found that the majority, and I say the majority of the Muslim community, because I attend just about every masjid there is that I can go to. The majority of the Muslims felt that that it was not the Muslims' position to vote, to become involved in political process. So I asked why. I asked a few Muslims why. And one particular Muslim I asked why, and she said to me that that there's no democracy in Islam. She gave me answers and responses that I just couldn't fathom. I didn't understand what this was about. So I had to shun that and go somewhere else and ask another group of Muslims, why don't you vote? Well, again, like the sister said earlier, we don't vote because every time we vote, there's no change. The same thing exists, and there's not much we can do about it anyway. Well, let me tell you. Once the election was over, and the political folks who were saying that I was not able to pull the numbers and pull the votes that I did, I started getting phone calls. And I started getting phone calls because the people then saw that I was able to bring numbers to the polls. And and when the sister said earlier, that's really what the politicians are really concerned with, for the most part. They're concerned with numbers, because without those numbers, you're not going to get into office, first of all, without the numbers. I don't care how much money that anybody has to endorse you. I don't care how much phone calling you do, how much walking you do. If those people do not get up on that election day and go behind that curtain and push that button, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, all right, because it's about numbers. Now, once I got the numbers that I did, and I came in second place, and I had four people who were running in the same area that I was running in. So to come in second place, that was a big thing for me. But I felt scorned because I didn't win. And I remember calling my brother, and he said, "How did you do, sis? How'd you do?" And I said, "Wow, I came in second place." He said, "But you didn't win." And that's when it struck me. I didn't win. I wanted to win so bad, not because I heard the young man say that, we have to find out why these people want to really be in office, not because of a name or anything like that. I wanted to be in office. My strong desire to be in office, because I was so sick and tired of seeing what I was seeing done to my people. I was sick and tired of seeing what was being done to me and my family. And I believe that the only way that we were able to change what was being done to ourselves is for us who are honest and have some type of integrity, and first of all have God in the forefront of our lives, would be able to make those changes for us. I couldn't see anybody else doing it. And so that's why I decided to run. Now, as Muslims, and when I speak as Muslims, please, I do not speak all Muslims. I'm just speaking of Muslims in general, the Muslims in my circle, I should say, because I don't know Muslims all over the world. I'm Muslims here in America. As Muslims, a lot of times we believe that, as you mentioned earlier, that the politics and the social ills does not affect us like it would affect the next person. Some of us believe that because we believe in a law, and the law is in control of all things, and he's going to be the one who either make it happen or not make it happen. All we got to do is sit back and pray that it doesn't happen, and we don't have to do any work. That's a myth. That's a myth. We have to get up and work. The men and the women in this room who are of elders, our elders, they've done their part. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking for you men and women to get up and run the streets and do all these things that needs to be done today. You've done your share. But now it's time for those of us who still have that energy, and the young ones who definitely have the energy, to get up and start moving and making it happen. Because if we don't, Zaid, our 7-year-old, he will be just as lost as we are today when he grow up to be my age. Just as lost. Yeah, so, that's why I ran, because I was sick and tired of seeing these things. Allah says that He will not change the condition of the people until we change what is in our own hearts. Mm-hmm. We have not yet changed, brothers and sisters, what's in our hearts. We have not yet changed the things about ourselves, that we need to change, and it ought to make a difference in our community. Because once we change that in ourselves, we will see it will reflect in the community. It's clear. The sister said earlier, and we know this is something we say all the time. In every other community, you see them progressing everywhere here, right now, blocking the United States on the corner and you see that. Even in other communities, they don't even, they have forums like this, but the forums such as this is so, I should say, work-oriented, action-oriented. Mm-hmm. Everybody got a piece of paper and a pencil in front of them. Mm-hmm. Everybody. Nobody's coming out to just listen, just to be listening. Everybody's jotting down notes. Mm-hmm. Everybody is going back and saying, okay, this is the part that I'm going to play in this process to make it better. Mm-hmm. We have to wake up. Mm-hmm. I remember that movie, I forget the Fishburne was in, at the end of the movie, he says, wake up! Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Right?
No, school days.
School days? Yeah. School days. Everybody is doing some of everything, all kinds of ways. People going this way, that way, left, everything. And the man, he says to everybody, wake up! That's what I want to say to the Muslims. Wake up! Because we're still asleep. We're still asleep. And I mean, we can come up with all the action plans and the blueprints, and we can come up with all this stuff. But if we don't have the people motivated enough to work these action plans, then we're still nowhere but paper.
So, Sister Simon, on that note, how do we get them motivated?
As I mentioned before, it's kind of difficult to get an old dog motivated to bark or to fight. It really is. I mean, motivation. This is me because I'm a self-motivated person. Mm-hmm. You don't have to say a lot to me to motivate me. So, when I work around the brothers and the sisters, my clients, the people I work with, mm-hmm. and I would hate to look at my Muslim brothers and sisters that same way, but mm-hmm. sometimes I have to do that, mm-hmm. And the only way that we can get them motivated, I'm referring to my clients now, the only way we can get them motivated is sit them down and have some darn counseling sessions with them. Counseling to find out what's your problem. Why aren't you motivated? because there's something going on what's inside you. See, there's nothing, I don't believe that there's too much of anything that I can put on the outside of you to get you motivated from within. Educate comes from within, and it goes outward. It don't go out and go in. Of course, whatever is already is out there that we absorb, you know, in the books and all that. That's information that comes in, but it goes back out. We regurgitate that. We don't hold it for ourselves. So I must say that the people themselves, I believe the people themselves have to tell you what motivates him or what motivates her. And if we can hear from the people and what you think would motivate you as an individual, not you as a group, but because if 3 people raise their hand and say, okay, this is what motivates me, I mean, somebody who's really demotivated, I'm talking about, right? Who don't want to, you know, who feel you don't want to do too much of anything. And you raise your hand, you say, okay, this is what makes me not motivated. Then if there's 3 people do that, then I believe we can get the majority of senses of what we can do to motivate the masses.
Okay. It's just Muslims in general that campaign, and for whatever reason, they didn't succeed in their efforts to reach the goal they're trying to acquire. What did you learn from that, or if you decide to, which I'm sure you will, to run again, what would you do differently, or what would what suggestions would you give the communities?
What I learned from campaigning as a Muslim and having Muslims work with me in campaigning is to never forget our way of life, which is Islam, and never forget who's God.
Okay.
Because politics and campaigning, if you're not grounded, truly grounded in your way of life when it comes to Islam, then you will get swept off your feet. They will eat you up and spit you out real quick. Yes.
Okay.
So you have to be strong.
Strong faith.
You have to have strong faith.
Okay. How much time we got, Bill? Okay. All right. Good.
So that's what I learned.
Okay.
And you know, working with the Muslim, and being Muslim is campaigning. And your other part of your question?
Yeah, because I would like I'm sure like everybody in this room would like to see you specifically and Muslims in general, you know, succeed in their struggles in terms of, because you can make a difference. From me knowing you personally, I know if you're in that office, you would make a difference, not just for the Muslims, but for all of humanity. So I'm just trying to maybe get from you is like, how can we benefit next time around, or what can we do better? What can we do better? What can you do better?
Right.
Okay, and that you say to yourself now, well, I should have done this,
right,
or maybe I shouldn't have done that, or the people that you relied on, okay, to help you, maybe in your campaign, or maybe in your area that you ran in. I mean, just because we got about maybe 15 more minutes, so I just want to try to expound on that.
I think what we can do better, someone spoke about it earlier, is to begin to mobilize by creating sectors, political sectors, within our community.
Okay.
And it has to start somewhere. And I mean, it already started 30 years ago. It started with the Muslim League of Voters.
Exactly.
You know, it really did. It may have started before then. I don't know, but that's what I can relate to. But if we can start right here, because this is the piece, right?
Right.
Start right here. Yeah. By coming up with a political forum, and then a political committee, you know, a committee of politics, and begin to educate the members of that committee on how to first of all and foremost, how to vote. You know, how to vote, the importance of voting, you know, the basics.
Yeah, like I think
And-
your husband expounded on that too.
Yeah.
You know, preparation. In terms
Right,
of
right.
preparing.
Preparation and
Right.
voting, and then teach us how to actually mobilize and get together and actually begin to put a person in office from our community. That's really important because you know. And let me say this: it doesn't. It's not always a Muslim that's going to make things right. It may be a non-Muslim to make things better for our condition of living. You know, so whoever we believe that we need to endorse, that's at least we have the capacity to endorse someone on a big level. We need to know, the politicians need to know that you can bring numbers to the table. And if some of us over here, some over there, you know, and all this here, they're not seeing numbers because they're not seeing unity. When they see unity amongst you, then, as the sister said, they're going to be knocking down the door trying to get into this masjid. Believe me, you don't see many politicians knocking down the door trying to get into the masjids because they don't see numbers.
Yeah, so registration is important.
Registration, right? Voters,
is
make our, I think, expose ourselves to the community. Let the community know that we're doing voters registration. You know, we're involved in bottom line. We're involved in politics. If it means that you got to go and hold up a sign in front of the masjid, you know, we are politics. Whatever you got to do,
right.
But let the people know out there that you're involved.
Okay, real quickly, say something real quickly before you run for mayor, because you know what I'm saying? Because when we come up with this blueprint, when you come up with this blueprint, I mean, you're gonna be at the top of that blueprint, man.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
I'm like, come on, just close it out for me, shit, because we
Let me
got
just say this here too. See, you got to watch who comes in here. See, Tom Giblin ain't no joke. Tom like us, and Tom know we done did something. And just to conclude on this note here, we going somewhere.
keep it good. All right.
We're going somewhere.
Okay.
All right. I would like to thank it.
Y'all teaching.
Good. I'd like to thank everybody for watching MCTV.
Thank you too.
That's the end of the program. Good evening. Good night. Salaam alaikum.